You asked for it, and now you've got it. This is the Clash Royale League. In the European region, today's first match features two unbeaten teams. Two terrific tandems will collide. Surgical Goblin and Diego B aim to keep Team Liquid on a roll, while G2 Esports brothers Shia and Faye are ready to rock. Gentlemen, let's do this!
Hello and welcome to Clash Royale League. I'm Rich Slayton. Joining me is Paul Inverum Toddkill to bring you the second week of competition in the European region.
We've already seen some amazing games in Europe, and today we finally get to see the last of our amazing octet of talent here as Dignitas is joining us in the CRL.
All of those teams looking to get the best possible records. The top four at the end of the season go to our playoffs. The winner of that represents Europe at the World Finals.
And of course, you can catch all the action right here on the Clash Royale League Esports YouTube channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, catch all the action, or head over to esports.clashroyale.com or the new Esports tab in-game.
Today we have two teams looking to extend their perfect records. G2 Esports versus Team Liquid.
Ooh, two powerhouse rosters here. Both of these teams are favorites in the region, but we have to talk about Team Liquid with names like Surgical Goblin, Diego B, and Azealis.
And across from them in G2's corner, of course, the brothers Sheer and Faye. Very impressive in 2v2, but don't forget for a second about Canario.
Canario and Fairchu as well. A bunch of amazingly talented, strong players there, and they're consistently good. I think that consistency, they're going to need to bring every ounce of that into this matchup.
To get some more insight in today's matchup, we have Christy St. John standing by with G2's manager, Martine.
Thanks, guys. Martine, G2 and Team Liquid are both coming off of sweeping victories. How do you feel going into the match?
Well, I think this is one of the most important matches for this season. We are both favorites for the title, and whoever comes here winning, he's going to have like a boost of morale that can bring him to forward, let's say.
Absolutely. Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, we actually feel very, very confident, even too much maybe. I hope everything goes great, and I hope we don't even need to go to King of the Hill, but we play against three people from the top 5 in the world, so it's not going to be easy.
Exactly. I mean, when you got at this level, it's never going to be easy, and you have to be on your game. Are you?
Yeah, I mean, we showed it against SK, and I think that people are going to like what G2 has to bring for this match as well.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see it. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Christy. We'll bring you these games in just a couple of minutes, but first, let's take a moment and review our format.
As always, we start off with the 2v2. Following that, we go into our 1v1, and if we need it, our tiebreaker format, the King of the Hill. Of course, each of these individual set will have their own, specific bans, and those bans will only be relevant to that particular match.
Of course, we won't know King of the Hill lineups unless it becomes necessary, but right now the teams are preparing for their 2v2 and 1v1. Let's listen in inside the war room.
Nos toca Team Liquid. Llevamos dura semana de entrenamiento en el gimnasio, bueno, y un poco de Clash Royale también. Para el 2 contra 2, hemos cambiado totalmente. Canario, Sir, os toca a vosotros. Hemos baneado Sabueso, nos han baneado Tornado. ¿Qué vais a plantear contra ese ban Tornado que nos han sorprendido un poco?
Bueno, pues vamos a plantear un meta terrestre porque para eso hemos baneado el Sabueso y vamos a ir con P.K., dragones infernales y combinación de mineros y hechizos. Perfecto,
maravilloso. Y bueno, 1 contra 1, te toca a ti, Faye. Van a estar asustadísimos, van bola, todo el mundo te conoce como jugador de trío, así que se van a esperar trío, pero ¿con qué les vamos a sorprender?
Le podemos sorprender con mazos que vayan bien contra Beatdown, porque me ha baneado Dragón Infernal, por lo que puede ir bastante bien.
Claro, entonces, ¿con qué pensás empezar?
Con un Monta Valkyria.
Monta Valkyria. Yo creo que es perfecto, además todos sabemos lo bueno que es Faye con eso, así que confianza 100% en él. Chavales, para adelante.
Vamos.
¿Confiados todos? ¿Tranquilos?
Sí.
Perfecto.
Sí.
Okay, since they banned Lava Hound, right? And you banned Tornado,
Yes.
I think Golem Balloon is a good strategy. And for my first one, he banned Fireball, and I banned Inferno Dragon. So I think first game I will surprise him using Lava Hound Poison, like Lava Loon.
Yeah.
Because, well, I don't think he will expect it with Fireball ban, because normally, like, no one plays Lava Loon with Poison.
Yeah, he won't expect that.
So I think it's good. Okay, let's do this.
Let's go.
The teams are all talked out. I mean, there's really nothing left to say at this point. It's time to let their nimble fingers do the talking. 2v2 combatants, let's go!
We're about to begin the first set of this matchup between G2 and Team Liquid. both teams opting to switch up their lineups.
G2, the breaking of the brothers. Canario now playing with Sheer. Faye, I guess, going to be in that 1v1. Interesting here, mixing things up. Both of these teams finding success in their respective 2v2s. And interestingly enough, both are opting to make changes.
Diego B and Azelis will be in the 2v2 matchup for Team Liquid, leaving Surgical Goblin possibly to be as our 1v1 guy, it looks like.
Ooh, that does indeed. We're going to have Tornado banned out, pretty standard here in 2v2, and Lava Hound banned. Lava Hound, a card we've been seeing a lot in 2v2, becoming a staple as part of the meta. Denying it here is G2. I'm really excited to see what they do with this ban.
Very interesting Tornado, of course, very useful, lots of options, but one thing it does, would do is stop a balloon, so a ban there you might think Lava Loon coming out, but with Lava Hound gone, maybe we'll see more action on the ground.
Definitely a possibility here, a ban on a ban card, because of course both of these teams are submitting these bans not knowing what the opponent is going to do, so we haven't even seen two of the same ban. We'll see what happens here as we get into our first game.
All right, let's do this.
And here we go, 2v2 is underway, the first of potential 3 sets between G2 and Team Liquid.
Azelis and Diego B taking on Canario and Sheer. Seeing a miner cycling out to start things off. No surprise there. Giant Snowball again. Oh!
A beautiful activation using the Giant Snowball. Now Team Liquid has their double King Tower in play.
We were theorizing about this in North America yesterday, seeing it brought to life here. The Snowball with that activation. Beautiful play to start this off.
A lot of small troops so far. Again, the Tornado not active to help clean those bad boys up.
We are seeing the Cannon Cart, though, being levied out here right now. Cannon Cart and Valkyrie, 2 cards being so prevalent in the meta right now, and the Golem behind it looking fairly standard beatdown for Team Liquid.
No, Tornado does give that Golem a nice little buff here in 2v2, but a P.E.K.K.A. Inferno Dragon combination to stop it in its tracks.
You want to talk about a response? This is the response. We are seeing the Balloon coming in here as well. There is going to be a lock with that Inferno Dragon. And going to try and get this towards the tower. Not quite able to find the balloon impact. Beautiful hold there from G2.
You gotta wonder if that snowball was meant to push Inferno Dragon off of the balloon, or if it did the job it was going for. But still, as we reach the halfway point of regulation time, a slight lead for G2 Esports.
Both teams have slung a lot of elixir, but only a little bit of chip damage going through to start this off. Both of these teams now have basically seen what their opponent's decks are meant to do. We did see a beautiful rocket coming in now for G2. The rocket occur we're going to have to watch for all game long because, of course, Spell Nuke, Spell Cycle in 2v2 is so critical.
And another Golem push from the back, though you have to think with both the P.E.K.K.A. and Inferno Dragon, that Golem might get chewed up every single time.
That is absolutely the answer. When you have P.E.K.K.A., every one of those swings is going to do so much damage. And of course, the Inferno Dragon to boot. Poison going to be doing its work here in this 2v2 format. Like we always talk about, one of the best cards here because of the sheer amount and radius of damage that it provides.
We are now in double elixir time. The balloon just almost sneaking through for Team Liquid. G2 really wants to push the opposite lane here when we get those big Golem pushes coming down the right-hand side.
Those big Golem pushes are huge, but we keep seeing it cycling through these cards, getting the chip damage. Every single time we're seeing that miner going in a different position. We're seeing the rockets. We're going to see the fireballs coming through now for G2, but we do have a slight lead for Team Liquid.
And again, we cannot gather up those troops to rocket them together using the Tornado as it is banned. But still, G2 doing a good job defending so far. The Poison, though, now, really nice placement on the P.E.K.K.A. and the Inferno Dragon and the tower.
That Team Liquid Poison, absolutely huge, getting all the key targets here as well. This balloon getting oh so low. It will not connect, but still a lot of damage finding its way home to the tower of G2 Esports.
Now in sudden death overtime, the tower on the right-hand side of G2 really in death range. But we do get a cannon cart lock on the right-hand side.
That's absolutely huge. No! They're not going to get through at all. That was oh so close. The cannon cart sneaking through underneath all the attack, but that is still going to be it.
The log sneaks through and seals game number 1 for G2.
Sneaky cannon carts. We've been talking about it for a while. Can just get in there, 500, 600 damage, can fall through the middle. Just absolutely beautiful.
Missing that cannon cart. That was GG's right there. As soon as it got a lock, there was no coming back. All it took was the log, and that is it. Game number 1 in the books. G2 out to an early lead.
Almost double the elixir in terms of spells used by G2 Esports. So really focusing on cycling those through and getting that damage done. Really nice play from them.
Well, a great job sitting on defense. They knew they had the counter to that golem with both the P.E.K.K.A. and the Inferno Dragon in their deck, getting just enough on that right-hand tower and sneaking by. For a second, it looked like they were going down.
Oh, it did too. I mean, all it was going to take was a couple more poisons to get them out there, but finding their win condition there through all of that, finding the cannon cart, locking onto the tower, and that was what it took to secure themselves the win here. That's only our first game, though. G2 looking to take it in 2 games now, and of course, Team Liquid looking to take us to game number 3.
Was splitting the brothers the right move for G2? Faye now sitting on the sidelines watching Sheer play with Canario. Will it pay off, or will Team Liquid take this next game?
What we're going to see here is both teams starting off fairly standard. We are seeing miners coming up from both sides, tombstones as well, and the rocket is there immediately to lock down that cannon cart.
Cannon cart stuck way in the back, and now an aggressive kind of naked balloon up front from G2.
Interesting decision there from them. The lightning, though, can help clear the way. I actually think it's going to connect. Oh, no, the beautiful bat placement just to get that out of there. The death damage is still going to be there. But I love it. Seeing the rocket coming down and then utilizing it on the counter push was G2 knowing that Team Liquid did not have that strict answer.
Yeah, the miner did do some work, taking some of that damage away and keeping stuff off of the balloon. You know, I doubt you're going to see a lot more troops behind the tower coming from Team Liquid now that the rocket is out there. But here we see the Royal Giant way and back, and there comes the P.E.K.K.A. and Inferno Dragon, who will make quick work. Oh, but wait! Here's the Giant Skeleton stopping things right at the bridge.
But wait, there's more. Giant Skeleton is there, immediately getting ripped to shreds. The bomb, though, is going to do its work in return, but a beautiful hold to push now coming in from G2 Esports with no so solid, and there is the rocket return. The answer is there. Shutting it down is Team Liquid.
And now the miner in the back getting some more chip damage on the right-hand side. We are just 16 seconds away from double elixir time, and G2 looking very close to putting a sweep on the 2v2 set.
They're making these giant, amazing pushes, getting this all put together beautifully, and Team Liquid is often having the responses, but still, all the while, the miner in the back is there. The bomb dropping from that giant skeleton, really not super consequential to the P.E.K.K.A. The health the bar on that thing is just so big, and still we're seeing every single time the miner just getting
Miner Poison doing some 2v2 work here. And now we have the Royal Giant, a big push trying to get across the river. Can it get over the bridge and do some damage? No distraction yet. Held up a bit by the E-Wiz, but gets a few shots off on that right-hand tower.
This push from Team Liquid looking oh so strong, bringing them back into this game right now. The Royal Giant finding its range right now, but look at the push coming in. The miner in the back as well. The log is there, but one more hit. That is going to be it with only 19 seconds left in the clock. A lot is up to Team Liquid right now to make this work.
Team Liquid, can they get on that right-hand tower with the tombstone there on the left-hand side? Looks like probably not. And there we get the GGs from Team Liquid, knowing 2v2 is going to their opponents. And there we go, G2's Canario and Sheer sweeping the first set of this matchup.
Making some changes were both teams, and it seems to have been the correct decision for G2 Esports. Team Liquid just not quite able to find it there. Really just came down to a lot of beautiful holds and then the chip damage and counter push from G2.
That miner was so devastating, not having the appropriate cards to reset. All they had was an Ice Spirit, no Zap, no E-Wiz, and that miner just got in over and over again.
Slowly just wearing down your opponents, guys. It's a marathon, not a sprint here, where G2 really showing us that in this matchup, staying calm, knowing exactly what they needed to do. Every single time the Team Liquid tried to mount a push, we saw the answer. The P.E.K.K.A. was there. The Inferno Dragon was there. That was exactly what they needed to do, that take that in a convincing fashion 2-0.
G2 out to an early lead in this match, but 1v1 is on its way. And look, you're up against Azealis and Diego B. You're like, we got through that, great. But look who you have to face up next. It's Surgical Goblin.
The 1v1 set is at hand. One player repping each team. All alone under the lights. You can almost hear the crickets. No pressure, guys. Just do your thing. Let's battle in the arena.
1v1 on its way. Faye making his debut in the one-on-one matchups.
Faye no longer playing with his brother in the 2v2, going up against Surgical Goblin of Team Liquid. If you've watched Clash on YouTube, you've probably seen this guy's face. He's going to show up here and prove why he is one of the best players in the game.
Faye has been ranked #1 on the global ladder, as has Surgical Goblin. Both of them, let's look at their ban cards.
We see the Inferno Dragon and Fireball coming out. Inferno Dragon, of course, a great counter to most standard beatdown decks. Fireball, one of those tried and true classic response to them's Royal Hogs.
1v1 about to happen now. Interesting note here, you see Surgical Goblin being put in the 1v1, a little switch up here. Canario, who played in 2v2 a moment ago, did beat him a few months back in a tournament. You wonder if Surge got asked for the switch to get some revenge, and then not knowing the lineup, here he is against Faye instead.
Interesting because, oh man, some stories from last week as well tying in. But you know what? Let's just get into this game here, Rich. It's game number 1 of the 1v1.
Remember, Fireball and Inferno Dragon off the board. Surgical Goblin of Team Liquid at the top of your screen. At the bottom is G2's Faye.
So last week, Pump, I believe, was banned up against in the 1v1 here. They put some of these bans going into this. And Faye, traditionally known as one of those amazing 3 Musketeer players. I wonder if in the past people were thinking like, oh, you know, was it potentially Faye going to be in that 1v1? No, he ended up playing with his brother, but here, this time around, he is in the 1v1, going up against Surge. That's a tall order.
Surgical Goblin, so far, just getting the poison down. The Royal Ghost gets all the way through, so frustrating in that ghost form, just slides all the way in towards the tower.
Getting a few key hits there, and as you can see, you know, in that 2v2, taking it was G2 now. It is all up to Surgical Goblin of Team Liquid to stop the sweep right now. The Ram is coming through here, going to be cleaned up relatively easily by that minion there, or those minions, I should say. But now we're seeing a fairly standard, I expect Bandit to coming out here as well for G2, or potentially not with the Royal Ghost, just an E-Wiz Bridge Dam deck with that Ram.
Surge talked about that Lava Hound coming out, the Lava decks against the ban of Inferno Dragon, very nice. But now we have the Bridge Spam coming from Faye, and that does pretty well against Lava decks. Not a lot of ground answers for Surgical Goblin right now.
Not a whole lot of ground answers, but this Lava Hound is going to be marching on through, or flapping on through, I should say. True Lava Balloon now coming in from Surgical Goblin. Connecting, looking to connect onto this tower. How is Faye going to answer this?
The Flying Machine down a little late, though. Big damage here, and the poison will also clear the way a bit. I don't think we'll see the balloon get on the King Tower, but maybe some death damage here.
Death damage is going to connect. The E-Wiz is here, but just giving up that tower was Faye, realizing just didn't have the answer to deal with this. It's going to be tough to deal with all of that HP in the air. Now that we are in double elixir time, though, maybe Faye can find the split push that he needs. He'll need to get both, of course, of these Princess Towers down in time. And Surge, he can just play defense from here on out. But I'm not sure that's exactly what he's going to do.
Surge with the lead as we get closer to the end of regulation. His right-hand tower, though, in danger down to 704.
I mean, Faye committed super hard on that right-hand tower push and then just had nothing to respond to the Lava Loon with. And we are seeing the Flying Machine getting cleaned up here as well. You need to have that. The Zappies, everything to deal with this, because watch the push that's going to be mounted here by Surge. Of course, he needs to also respond to the massive push that Faye's putting together.
But a nice use of the Tombstone, getting that Ram to distract away from the tower, but it will not be enough. Surgical Goblin's right-hand tower goes down, and now it's Faye with the slight lead as we enter into sudden death overtime.
Going into sudden death, Faye finds the answer, knocking down that Princess Tower, and now the bridge spam continues here. The Ram marching on down the lane. Beautiful position, though, on the Tombstone to clean that up or close it down. Barbarian not even going to get a single hit.
The Team Liquid standout doing a good job with defense so far, but again, not a lot to work with against the bridge spam. But can he sneak in a shot on the tower before there can be a defense mounted by G2's Faye?
So much lightning flying around, and there it is. We are going to get the connection there. The death of the Lava Hound actually pushing that balloon right on in range. Fairly even so far for both sides. Players trading blows back and forth right now, but the P.E.K.K.A. is marching down the lane.
A huge P.E.K.K.A., although easily distractible, but there sneaks in the Royal Ghost in the pocket. It looks like this might be a tower going down, but a great distraction with the Valkyrie played by Surgical Goblin.
That Valkyrie was absolutely massive, cleaning both up the P.E.K.K.A. and the Royal Ghost. That was exactly what he needed to do. However, this is still a fairly good position for Faye. If they can just keep up the pressure right now, that's exactly what he needs to do. The P.E.K.K.A. is going to be doing exactly that.
It's all about composure right now. Yes, you want to steal the win, but who can keep their head on straight and not make a mistake with things so tight here as we now have just 2 minutes left in our sudden death overtime.
Experience is going to play a huge factor here, Rich. You absolutely nailed it. Keeping calm, cool, and composed under pressure is going to be exactly what both of these players need to be doing. The log not really getting the maximum value there. They wanted to time that out with the death of that tombstone there, so maybe a slight misplay from Faye.
A very difficult spot, though, for Surgical Goblin with that bridge spam. Has to keep himself on it, has to keep himself playing defense, and still try to find a way to mount an offensive push on the right-hand side. And those Zappies still, maybe the Valkyrie will take care of him. The balloon note not going to get through. Still, we are neck and neck here with just 1 minute remaining.
Beautiful hold from Faye, trying to drop all the damage in the pocket with Surge, but not able to get it right now, and slowly wearing down this left-hand tower. War of Attrition, Barbarian will land one hit here, and at this point, every hit matters with 53 seconds remaining.
And it's the Royal Ghost making a run, the Valkyrie getting a distraction. Faye had an opportunity to close this thing out earlier. Will that come back to bite him here in the closing seconds of this 1v1 game?
Needing 2 more poisons to cycle through this right now. Surge needs to try and make something happen himself while also playing defense. This is going to be a very tight race. Faye's in a great position. There's the flying machine.
The flying machine in the pocket does its job. Faye taking the first game off of Surgical Goblin and now putting G2 just 1 win away from closing out Team Liquid.
What an absolutely fantastic game right there. I mean, really, it just came down to the holds from Faye were big. I mean, sure, he lost that 1 tower on the overcommittal, but from there on then, he realized exactly what he was dealing with and was just able to keep up the pressure. The way he's utilizing those zappies, the E-Wiz, just shutting down the push from Surge, that was absolutely massive. I mean, when Surge was forced to use his Tombstone there in a position where he didn't want to, put him out of cycle, put him off his pace, and it came back to bite him.
And here we are, the stats. A little faster cycle for Surgical Goblin, but a little slower on the elixir usage, and that might have been the difference. Of course, you just mentioned that Tombstone being played when he didn't want it. And there we go. Faye, the Spaniard, just 1 win away from sealing this victory for G2 Esports.
And a lot of people coming into this thought, Team Liquid a favorite, one of those teams to watch, but G2 is saying, look, we're also currently undefeated. We want to keep that streak alive, but if there's anybody who is going to rally, to come back, to take us to game number 3, it's going to be Surgical Goblin.
And we are off. Can Surgical Goblin win 2 games in a row and send this thing to King of the Hill? Or will Faye close it out in the next 3 to 6 minutes?
Looking for that reverse sweep is Surgical Goblin, dropping Zappies in the back. There's a lot of potential decks that could be involved with this. Some bridge spam here. Dropping Zappies in the back is always such a great play because it opens up so many options. At some point, Faye's going to have to respond, and when he does, this allows Surge to pull out some great counterplay or just, drop a poison.
Interesting play so far from Faye. Could potentially see a 3M and the Royal Hogs here. So the question is, are we seeing that Royal Hog Cannon Cart combination, or is this going to be that 3M deck we've seen here a couple times?
It definitely could be either. I mean, knowing Faye, it's probably going to be leaning towards the 3M. We will see if that makes an appearance as Hogs coming out now from both sides. Of course, Fireball is banned here, so we're not going to be seeing one of the strict counters to these Hogs. The other, of course, being Valkyrie.
Valkyrie getting across the bridge. The Zappies, though, stopping her in her tracks.
Lots of wows coming out already from Surge. I think he realizes he's maybe not in the best position in terms of overall matchup right now. Not feeling super confident, but again, if there's anybody who's going to pull this out, it's going to be Surge.
So there we go, the 3 Musketeers split in the back. Surgical Goblin putting the poison down to try to whittle away the 2 on the left-hand side, but he is not feeling great at this moment.
Not feeling super awesome right now, of course. Poison, card we often see subbed in around with those fireballs as well, but look at the push coming in now on the right-hand side. The Mega Knight is there, getting that initial drop damage, but still good chip coming in now for Faye. However, there is now going to be a response. The Mega Knight's going to push in.
Well, Surgical Goblin knows that without the Fireball, trying to stop the 3M Royal Hog combination, very difficult. Even with Fireball, that makes you make a choice with its usage, and he right now is figuring out what can I do in double elixir time to try to pull this thing off.
He's going to have to pick his poison here in this situation, no pun intended, between those Royal Hogs, between those 3 Musketeers. You have to make a choice. Which one would you rather deal with? And despite the fact that Surge, throwing out some mana to start this off, he's actually sitting in a very good position right now when it comes to the HP of these towers.
And remember, the Mega Knight, a great counter for both Royal Hogs and 3 Musketeers, so he could have more in his pocket than we believe. But now take a look, the right-hand side, it's Surgical Goblin pushing with a Royal Hog Flood.
Yeah, but we are seeing a solid defense there. The counter is real with that Valkyrie, with the log as well. We saw a beautiful play from Faye right there with that Ice Golem, pulling the Mega Knight all the way across, kiting it around beautifully. The Hogs are going to be connecting now on both sides. Look at the towers, the Surgical Goblin still getting chunked away.
And it's the Ice Golem distracting that Mega Knight, not letting him get involved on the offensive side of the board. So far, really only defensive work from the Mega Knight, and another split Hogs from Surgical Goblin trying to get on that right-hand tower, and he does. It's down under 500, under 300. It's going to go down. That is it. Surgical Goblin, after giving the GGs, takes it back. The win evens things up in this 1v1 set, and now he's just 1 win away from sending this thing to King of the Hill.
We now see Surgical Goblin calling good game. And it was a good game. It truly was. Going into this, making him look like, oh, I don't have the answers here. But that Mega Knight having such a great job countering out those Hogs. Yeah, you see Valkyrie. Yeah, you have Hunter. But that Mega Knight, every time it drops from the sky off the top rope, doing work.
Well, here's the question. Could those crying emojis, could the our emotes and the GGs, could that have been some gamesmanship knowing he had the MK? Was he trying to bait Faye into getting over-aggressive and playing that wonderful counter card?
Or are we just reading way too much into this? Anything is possible here in the Clash Royale League. The emote meta? Low-key emote meta we're seeing coming out right now as both teams are discussing strategy, discussing how they want to do this. We've seen how much these deck matchups matter in these situations, how you're able to mind game your opponent, think you're going to play something else, and then pulling out potentially the counter here. So,
well, it might be the other way around, too, is maybe that the moment he saw what the deck was, he saw that he had MK, and he was GG in the opposite direction going, look, you don't know what I have, but I know what I have, and I feel really bad for you.
Well, we're going to see if, again, we can take this to our King of the Hill. We're going to take this to our tiebreaker. Surgical Goblin needs to bring one more to take this reverse sweep and bring us to our ace match. Let's see.
Here we go, folks. This is it. The entire match hanging in the balance. Can Faye close it out in the 3rd game of this set, or will Surgical Goblin get the reverse sweep and send us to King of the Hill?
Ooh, what an epic battle we are witnessing right now. It all comes down to one game. The hopes and dreams of Team Liquid of keeping their winning streak alive rests on the back of Surgical Goblin. We are seeing nothing really being given away so far with this. The Hunter coming out once more, as we saw in that last matchup. Potentially more Royal Hog play, or just good old-fashioned Hog play.
Remember, we do know that Fireball and Inferno Dragon are out, so we will not be seeing those two in this game as well. The MK, great counter for Royal Hogs, not as good against the traditional Hog Rider.
Interesting here. Looks like we're almost seeing identical decks for both sides, except that instead of Royal Hogs, we're seeing that Hog Rider coming out from Faye.
The Hog Flying Machine deck right now, very strong in the meta. Faye choosing to play something that a lot of you at home might be playing as well at the moment.
And of course, across the way, we're seeing basically what looks like the same deck from Surge here, dropping those Zappies in once more. Of course, that Mega Knight, we've seen the ability to just kite that unit around, just keep pulling it out of the way. It's just going to jump to whatever it sees next. So not going to be seeing that beeline in for the towers here. So we'll see if that is playing a factor here. Of course, trying to chase after that Hog Rider can be hugely detrimental to Surge.
But note that we haven't seen the Ice Golem yet from Faye, though it might be in the deck. We haven't seen that traditional kite card. There we have the Tombstone. Will distract for a little while, but will that be a difference?
Nice positioning there on the log this time around. Even getting that additional connection there onto the Valkyrie. That is the leap, though, onto the tower, doing a lot of work here. Beautiful timing, knocking down all those skeletons in the back of the tombstone. Surgical Goblins feeling good.
A little misplayed Valkyrie there puts a lot of damage on the right-hand tower as we enter in double elixir time. Surgical Goblin out to a huge lead in this 1v1 match.
The Hunter drop to defend the push right now. The Mega Knight as well, falling from the sky. Faye needs to find an answer right now. Not really having the most success so far in this matchup. The win condition not really being utilized, or not just being shut down beautifully, I should say, from Surge here. That Hog Rider not really finding success.
Well, a perfect Mega Knight can stop the Hog Rider, but when it's backed up with Hunter, you don't have to be perfect. You just get it down there. Hog Rider is not getting to your tower.
We've seen frame perfect play with that Mega Knight, the way it's able to draw that additional hit, as well as pushing back the Hog Rider, getting that tower hit there as well. As you said, you can get it down perfectly, as we may be seeing right here as well. Now we're going to see it coming in as, no, it's hitting one hit there. Almost two. Still, again, not the perfect counter.
A smart lane switch, though, to get a little bit of heat off of his right-hand tower. Faye needs to make sure he's keeping that Valkyrie between the Mega Knight and the Hunter to keep those pushes away and to keep that Tombstone alive a little bit longer.
Keeping it alive a little bit longer. Nice play as well, bringing back the Mega Knight once more. Faye keeping that up-tempo cycle to his advantage right now. And there we see the Royal Hogs coming out once again. However, the answer is going to be there from Faye.
The Valkyrie does get a couple of hits on those Royal Hogs, but they get to the tower. Now under 300 is the right-hand tower of Faye, under 200. Can he mount a fast push? No, the Mega Knight gets in the way. This is coming down to the wire. Can Faye hold on?
It's within poison range, Ridge. I think this is going to be all she wrote, putting it on the King Tower as well. They know that's going to be GG. Nice play from Surgical Goblin from Team Liquid to bring the team on to King of the Hill.
And that's why you put that man in the 1v1 spot. Goes down 1-0. Double clutches to get us out of 1v1 and into King of the Hill. And while G2 has to feel good about that 2v2 win and putting up a very good show in 1v1, now they have to run the gauntlet of 3 of the best players in Clash Royale.
Yeah, we saw though some amazing plays in that last game, like that log coming in exactly the right moment. It came down to a few small things here. Faye, with a lot of amazing individual plays, just not quite able to clutch it out. Again, even having some traditional counters, having the Valkyrie for the Royal Hogs just wasn't quite enough. I said he had the answer, but it wasn't perfect. But
now it's time for King of the Hill. Each team will nominate 3 players to go out and represent their respective squads. It's 3 wins, you're in. 3 losses, you're out.
And now we see both of these teams are going to be discussing, debating, figuring out how they're going to line this up, see who will be that King of the Hill.
Ok, Fercho primero, te toca debutar ya. Ya es el momento. Hemos planeado un buen ban para que lo aproveche, así que genial. Segundo. Canario, segundo, te la sacaste la semana pasada en 1 contra 1, va a volver a hacerlo, no hay duda. Y tercero, Faye, te va a tocar la oportunidad de poder redimirte. Sí. Vamos a verte tercero para que calme un poquito de ánimos, que quiera o no perder 2 partidas. Sé que a ti no te afecta mucho, pero es mejor mente limpia. Y nada, a por todas. Le hemos metido un buen repaso en 2 contra 2, 1 contra 1. Nos ha sorprendido, ¿vale? Punto para ellos. Ahora toca el punto para nosotros otra vez, no pasa nada, ¿vale? Venga.
Okay. All right, so we made it to the King of the Hill, so we're good. Serge, you just played, so you're going to rest. So you're going to go third. Zilish, you want to go first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put you first, and then I'll go second.
Sounds good.
Okay.
That's good. And what about the ban? What do you want to ban?
We're banning Valkyrie.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, Zilish to me.
No, I'll go last. Okay.
And then 3 Surge.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
The lineups are locked, and the match hangs in the balance. King of the Hill will end this skirmish once and for all. G2 and Liquid, send your first combatants into the arena.
3 wins, you're in. 3 losses, you're out. This is King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, indeed. G2 taking on Liquid. Up first for G2, Fairchu making an appearance, going up against Azelis. with Canario and Faye here as well. This is going to be one crazy matchup. Valk and Fireball being the bans. Hey, heard you like pork.
We might see a couple of Royal Hogs here at some point. Remember, one player can run through all 3 opponents, or we could go back and forth. It is anybody's match here, folks.
First to 3 wins will take it here. 2 of the top teams in Europe are going at it right now to establish dominance in the region. Rich, let's get into it.
And we are off. Azelis of Team Liquid at the top of your screen. At the bottom, G2's Fairchew.
Fairchew here, you know, he's known for his sparky play. He's also known to play a little bit passive until he gets a little bit of an advantage, and then this guy is absolutely a monster. And oh, hey, heard you like pork.
And there they go, the Royal Hogs, with a little bit of bats there to back them up. Not a whole lot getting done. I guess some good damage on the left-hand side, actually. One lone hog there, taking it down.
And we do see a little bit of chip in return coming through with those minions. But yes, one lone hog putting in the work now. And we do have the positioning on that bandit. Of course, what's good about, you know, that interaction with the Royal Ghost and the bandit, you have to put the bandit down in a position where, of course, they will activate that ghost, make it corporeal. But of course, then you don't get the charge on the bandit. So it's not the most ideal interaction.
Another set of bats cycled in the back, and it's going to be a Royal Hog cycle. Getting to the right-hand side is 3, 1 to the left, but it is the 3 Musketeers doing work, and now looking to set up, not much health left for a counter push.
I mean, we know we don't have the Fireball in play, but of course we do have the Poison. Poison in that situation getting so much value, just taking down those 3 Musketeers. And now, after the initial skirmish is done, we have a slight lead for Fairchew.
And again, another Royal Ghost cycled in the back, and the pump on the right-hand side now without Fireball. That pump could do a lot of work, and as we get closer to double elixir time, without being able to punish that thing, those 3 Musketeers are going to get more and more frightened.
They are going to get a whole lot scarier here. The pump, of course, going to be generating that additional elixir to keep up the pressure, or in this case, the defense for Azelis right now, as the Hogs are coming in split once more, and the Poison from Fairchew still sealing the deal, putting an exclamation point on that push.
And again, look at that pump just sitting there, the Poison being used on the right-hand side, and now there's 2 pumps down for Azelis as we enter double elixir time.
This is a very tough position to be in if you are Fairchew right now. Luckily, having done a lot of that initial infrastructure damage, but still 2 pumps, yeah, have to be careful in that situation. We're going to see if Leak Elixir is going to be a factor here for Azelis. Obviously, having 2, well, it's not even much of a factor as we do see that tower just instantly going down. I was going to say sometimes when you're generating that much elixir, it's hard to keep track of it all. Of course, these guys are pros, but still, all the while, Fairchew putting in the work.
Fairchew getting it done. It looked like Azelis was going to have a huge advantage going into double elixir time, but Fairchew, rather than splitting the Hogs, putting them all on one tower, taking advantage with 13 seconds left. Not a lot left. Maybe we can get some damage through, but Fairchew really looking like he's getting it done, and yes, that is going to be it. The first game of King of the Hill down. G2 now just 2 wins away from taking this match.
Fairchew, known as the consummately consistent player, taking down Azelis in that first game, despite having 2 pumps down, generating all that extra elixir, just not able to find the defense when it mattered, not having any of those strict hard counters to the Royal Hogs. The Mega Knight wasn't coming through for him, so despite the fact that we saw those bans coming out, we expected this, Azelis just didn't quite seem to have the answers.
And there you can see the left-hand tower going down, the Poison doing double work, taking out almost the entire 3 Musketeers and helping with the tower. And that is 1 down. Fairchew 2 wins away from sealing this thing. But up next, the 5th at King's Cup, #1 at CR Worlds, one of the best players on the planet, Diego B.
Diego B is up next for Fairchew, but not even looking remotely phased, keeping calm under pressure right now. Both of these players want to take this out. It's King of the Hill, obviously, so they want to make sure that they maintain the momentum in this situation. If in the case of Diego B, you want to disrupt the momentum of your opponent and bring it back. Again, either one of these players can theoretically sweep the entire enemy team.
Remember, those card bans are still active. Valkyrie and Fireball both off the board.
Both off the board. We'll see if Royal Hogs make another appearance right here as we get into game number 2.
Diego B at the top of your screen for Team Liquid. At the bottom, Fairchu representing G2, looking to get his second notch in his belt here in King of the Hill.
I mean, you look at the roster you're up against, though. You have to take down Azelis, Diego B, and Surgical Goblin back to back to back. That's, if he could do that, that's some Razor level play.
Yeah, it would definitely be rivaling Razor's amazing run. That's a lot of R's all at once that he put up against Baron, CMQ, and Wings, but this would be just as stacked of a roster, and right now, drawing first blood is Fairchu with the poison on the right-hand tower.
But now we are seeing the Mega Knight being dropped here for Diego B. There's the response to the Royal Hogs that we're used to seeing, and the push is still alive right now. However, the P.E.K.K.A. going to be making short work of that unit right there, pushing in now as well, so good hold there from Fairchu.
So far, 3 perfect plays for Fairchu in a row. The poison getting a ton of value across a myriad of cards, and then the log P.E.K.K.A. play at the bridge, stopping Diego B from mounting any sort of offense.
That's exactly what they want to do here. Interesting, if you look at Diego B, maybe think he's going to go with the anti-hog play. He'll be saying, look, this is totally fine. I saw Royal Hogs being run in the last game. I'm going to play into this. But then maybe Fairchu saying, yeah, that's fine. I played it once. I'm not going to do it again. Let's switch it up. Let's do something totally different here. Or he can still juke us out and pull out those Hogs at the end.
Royal Ghost cycled in the back. Looks like Fairchu getting very close to dropping some sort of very large wing condition, possibly.
Still waiting to see that here as we do see the Graveyard now coming in from Diego B. The poison, of course, is going to be there to respond to that poison, the direct response, the direct answer to that Graveyard. And there is going to be the bridge spam here coming in. So relatively standard, just not having the Bandit in this particular matchup, but having the Ram, having the P.E.K.K.A., the Royal Ghost being something instead.
Mega Minion not going to make it to the tower. Right before it swings, getting taken down. So we have Fairchu running a traditional P.E.K.K.A. control poison deck, whereas the Graveyard coming down from Diego B.
We are going to see the poison instantly responding there to that Graveyard. That, of course, will be the answer every single time. Not being able to use that poison offensively, though, definitely limits your options if you're Fairchu.
So for Fairchu, just sitting back, making good defensive plays, looking for opportunities with this P.E.K.K.A. control poison deck. He's going to want to try to get something over there on the opposite tower. Of course, getting the Ram would be nice, but if he can get that poison in deep, unfortunately he can't because he has to hold it back for that Graveyard.
That's exactly the problem here, Rich. He's got to hold that on the Graveyard. You can try and use the E-Wiz to solo defend that, but he's still going to get some damage in return. Whereas if you are Diego B, you're controlling the pace in the situation because you are able to use that poison offensively, slowly chip that down. We haven't been seen used like that a ton yet, but here we go. Poison's going to come on down, deny it every single time. It's exactly what we're going to do.
We are already, it seems like it's gone so quickly into our sudden death overtime, and still both towers pretty much standing tall at this moment. Now this could be a stalemate. Reminder, when we are in King of the Hill, we are in the tiebreaker rules, meaning whoever has the single tower down to the lowest health is the winner.
Is going to be the winner here. We see the Zappies being dropped. Both these players just chipping away at their opponent's structures right now. The Flying Machine going to get a couple hits here, just the one, I should say. But finally, we're starting to see a dent in the HP of the tower for Fairchu right now. But the counter push is real. Did Diego B commit too much, or is the defense going to be perfect?
And the Tombstone stopping the Ram in its tracks. Not going to get any damage there. And again, we see another Graveyard coming down. And wait a second here, the Royal Ghost having to do work here. Once he played the P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge, I don't know if he had, I doubt he had poison and cycle at that moment. There's the poison up high, and a lot of damage on the left-hand tower of Fairchu now.
A lot of damage coming through, and a good hold now from Diego B, staying calm in this matchup. That is not the most ideal situation, having to use the Ice Wizard to draw everyone into the middle. A little bit of damage still going to be, no, having to use a lot of Elixir to deny this here. We'll see if maybe Fairchu can find an opening in the situation. Diego B still looking fairly calm, fairly confident here, but look the way he's using that poison, not optimal.
Well, he does want to keep anything off the tower right now as we are getting close to a potential draw. Diego trying to find some way to outcycle the poison and get that Graveyard on that left-hand tower.
So we're going in now, of course. There is not going to be the draw. The single lowest health tower will be the team with the lowest health tower will lose this matchup right now. So Fairchu needs to do some additional damage here. The towers of Diego B are still sitting relatively healthy. The damage has already been done in this matchup, trying to keep this tower alive. As you said, that's why he's using the poison in that matchup. The tornado as well. He doesn't want to let any damage through to this tower.
Although we do have a push development on the left-hand side, but is the Mega Knight getting in, doing damage and tanking? And there's the Graveyard coming down, and the P.E.K.K.A. at the exact same time. This could be trouble for Fairchew on the left-hand side.
This is absolutely huge, not having the optimal answer right now. More damage being done. The P.E.K.K.A. oh so slow, and this might be the icing on the cake with only 40 seconds remaining.
You have to focus on defense right now, not let anything through and get to your tower. Only about 600 hit points separating these two men from victory and defeat.
It's so close right now, on a razor's edge in this moment. Trying to hold on is Diego B, and trying to find the opening is Fairchew. Diego B trying to rally, take this to 1-1 in our King of the Hill. Can he make it happen with another Graveyard being put in? This has to be answered.
And there we go, the Poison. Now here's interesting, the Poison back there not being able to use to help get him back in on the other side. It looks like it's going to be Diego B evening things up here in King of the Hill, getting one win for Team Liquid.
Beautiful play here for Diego B for Team Liquid. Just looking so calm. It's like another day at the office room. He's like, wait, yeah, we're good. We won. Awesome. Easy peasy. GG.
You know, he did a great job trying to get that Poison out of cycle, was able to do enough damage on that left tower. And here we go, folks. This is the end, or this is probably the most important moment in the match where he really made the separation. He took advantage of that P.E.K.K.A. being played up high and got just enough to put the game out of reach for Fairchew.
Knowing was Diego B that he had every single answer to the P.E.K.K.A. The second he saw Fairchew to get just a little bit greedy, just a little bit over-aggressive with that high P.E.K.K.A. play, instantly dropping the GY in the back, instantly going to look to shut that down, get that additional poke damage. He knows it's not going to take down the tower, but that wasn't the goal. Just needed to get it low enough to secure the win.
And next up for G2 is the 20-year-old Spaniard, Canario, coming in for King of the Hill.
Canario coming in now. This guy has had a lot of sit games as well. You know, he's known for being a relatively passive player. You know, he's played Poison in a lot of his winning decks. We'll probably see that coming out here. Poison being a staple, being a favorite amongst a lot of these players. We'll see if it makes an appearance here in this next game.
And we are off. Diego B again at the top of your screen. G2's Canario at the bottom.
Can Canario bring this back, bringing it up 2-2, or will we see Diego B bring us on to our final member of G2 here and complete the sweep?
And a little cheeky cycle zap on the right-hand side for Canario, taking a slight, but at this point, somewhat inconsequential lead. And there we go, the Dark Prince in the back behind the King Tower.
Dark Prince coming out, so watch for a bit of bridge span to be coming up potentially here from Canario as well. It's a solid defense, utilizing just enough elixir to get them down. Not going to find the connection. Perfect play from Diego B.
The Flying Machine now clearing the way a bit for the Lava Hound. We have a Lava Hound on the left-hand side and a Golem push developing for Diego B.
Golem coming out now, though we do see the Lava Hound getting in there onto the tower, getting pushed along by that Flying Machine. The Baby Dragon, of course, maybe looking to clean this up, but look at how much damage already being done to this tower.
The Lava Hound really taking that left-hand tower, and it's the Inferno Dragon of Canario now on the Night Witch, trying to get rid of the support for that Golem push, but the Golemites doing damage themselves.
Perfect timing on that zap to clean up the bats. The second they spawn, we're going to get not even a connection there with that Inferno Dragon. So a back and forth brawl. Both of these players exchanging blows to start this game.
The Mega Minion had to come out a little early there for Diego B, and notice it's not going to get anything on this side of the board. And we're cycling a log here, trying to get the correct card into his hand. And there we go, the Golem is back. But the cannon card on the right-hand side, great timing. Beautiful play by Canario.
Canario identifying exactly when he needed to play that down. The second the Golem spawned, the answer was there. And we've been talking about these cheeky cannon cards all day long. Defensive Miner does a deal with this Lumberjack, and we do have the two Golemites pushing through. Going to be getting decent damage here as well, but that cannon card, he's the real MVP.
He had to respond to that cart, and so he couldn't deal with the Inferno Dragon, so that stops the push of Diego B in its tracks. And now Poison taking care of the Baby Dragon, the Night Witch, and the tower all at once. Fantastic play so far for Canario.
Canario known for that work with the Poison, finding it here once again. Oh, well, the second the Golem is dropped one more time, the cannon cart is there again, and not quite able to get it, but still, that is within Poison range. That is a win condition open now for Canario, which means he absolutely needs to deal with this Golem. If he can suppress this push from Diego B right now, that could be the game.
And even if that tower does go down, take a look at both sides for Diego B. very, very close. Now, again, Diego has to make a move here. He needs to make sure, and there we go, the zap on the right-hand side, and now the poison on the left-hand side. There was just no answer Diego had at that moment. Canario knew he had it locked up and played it perfectly. This was an ice-cold game for Canario, getting it done here in King of the Hill.
That was, I hate to say it, almost a strict outplay there. Canario just played that absolutely picture perfect. I did not see a single mistake that entire game. That was absolutely beautiful. He had every single answer. The second the golem was dropped, you see it right here. The cannon cart on the opposite lane, just putting it down, putting that damage down range, taking out that tower. Beautiful play.
He knew he had the elixir advantage, and that was a big part of the way of why Canario took this match. Not only the cannon cart in the opposite lane against the golem push, but also you saw that very beautiful defensive minor play. You know, it was a very difficult matchup for Diego B. He got into cycle hell where no matter what, the right cards were in Canario's hand at the right time. But now we have the big time matchup. Surgical Goblin getting a chance at revenge. Remember, Canario has a win in competitive play over Surgical Goblin from just a few months ago, and now it's the chance for one of the best known players in the world to show that it was just a fluke.
It was just a fluke. I mean, if there's any player you want anchoring your team in competitive King of the Hill, it might be Surgical Goblin. This guy has, I could say, a lot of competitive experience under his belt. This guy has been around the block between making content, winning events. This guy is an absolute pro. Can he pull it out right now for Team Liquid, or will Canario and G2 make it happen?
And this is it, folks. Team Liquid down to its very last life. Canario could come through here and close things out for G2, or Surgical Goblin could win and have to face Faye for the final matchup.
Ooh, either way, we are in for a treat right now. Surgical Goblin just pulling out a couple of cheap cycle cards right here. The Royal Ghost and Log is there to try and deal with these hogs. Logs for hogs, that's the answer, I suppose, but some damage is still going through.
Remember, no Fireball and no Valkyrie, two of the best counters for Royal Hogs, so now we see it on both sides of the board, but the Mega Knight's still active, and that is a great card for those ones.
That is the other great counter to Royal Hogs. However, speaking of royalty, the Royal Ghost making an appearance here on that right tower, and good bait for Surgical Goblin trying to bring back this Mega Knight right into the Zappies as well. Having to deal with that now with Surgical Goblin, allocating a decent amount of resources for it.
A great kite, and you had the Hunter there at point blank range getting full damage on the Mega Knight. And now the first minute is down. No one has really established themselves as the dominant player.
Both teams launching at the Hogs at exactly the same time, trying to clean them up, trying to respond on both sides, but the Hogs are going to be doing work. The Skeletons for Surgical Goblin doing a fairly good job of cleaning this up, but look at the damage onto the towers of Canario.
And the split push from, interesting, you'd think that with Canario launching all four at one and just a little bit of defense there, he would have gotten more down on that right-hand tower. But it's Surgical Goblin who establishes the lead here now with not only damage on the right-hand tower, but a lead on the left-hand side as well.
We'll see now which player can secure that tower as they move towards double elixir time. Zappies being dropped in the back. Always a great opening play here because, as I say, every single time it forces a response. You need to deal with these. Which side do you choose to back up? In this case, it's the right.
Gotta wonder what Surge has there as the final card. We see Poison coming out now. Could he have Mega Knight? Could he have P.E.K.K.A? If he has Mega Knight, you feel like we might have seen that already. But who knows what choices he has to make here as we enter into double elixir time.
I always love to see the play, the deck building, especially how the players put their own spin on these particular decks. We are now seeing a massive push on the right-hand side. The Surgical Goblin forced to burn a lot of elixir to deal with this. Almost down below 1,000 hit points. The right tower of Surge is in trouble.
And there it is, the three Musketeers in the back. And again, two of them will get taken down by the Poison on the left-hand side. The third one, though, going to stop that Inferno Dragon in its tracks.
Poison, of course, a staple for the competitive play of Canario here, but we are seeing a solid push now being mounted for Surgical Goblin. The response between the Bats and the Mega Knight is going to be there, but still a lot of damage to get through.
The Bats taking care of the three Hogs on the left, the Mega Knight of the one Hog, and the Royal Ghost on the right-hand side. But again, right at point-blank range is that Hunter doing a lot of work. But we do now see competing Royal Hog pushes here as we enter into sudden death overtime.
Who can make it happen first? The tower on the right-hand side is getting oh so low. I think it is going to drop first. Yes, it does!
And there you go, Canario Oh my gosh, putting together what an unbelievable performance. Taking out 3 of the greatest players in the game back to back to back. We mentioned what Razor did, but this might be even bigger. Azealis, Surgical Goblin, and Diego B, 3 of the best players on the planet. Canario just added to his win sheet.
Canario making it count, knowing exactly what he needed to push for the win.
And here's the race, and it's just the Royal Hogs getting by way too quickly. The Zappies of Canario keeping the Royal Hogs off of his tower, and of course the 3M play not really factoring in here. And that's it, folks. G2 takes the win over Team Liquid.
G2 making it, I don't want to say making it look easy, that was quite a series, but still, Canario and crew looking so composed throughout. Team Liquid falling here 1-1 now overall, and that means that G2 keeps their streak alive.
Our colleague Christy St. John is standing by now with today's hero, Canario.
Thanks, guys. Oh my gosh, amazing matches, and they have absolutely just called you the Giant Slayer. How does it feel?
Te han llamado Mata Gigantes. ¿Cómo te sientes?
Pues me siento bastante bien porque se reflejan las semanas que hemos estado todos juntos trabajando, esforzándonos y siempre hemos venido por todas y si no lo hago yo, lo hace cualquiera de mis compañeros.
It's amazing and it reflects all the work that we have been doing the last 2 weeks, and if I don't do it, one of my colleagues would finish it up.
Absolutely. You have an amazing team behind you. And I have to ask about a specific play, that cannon cart versus the golem. It seems like you were elixir counting there. What was the strategy behind that?
Específicamente en cuanto a las jugadas contra el golem con el cañón con ruedas, ¿cómo sabías cuándo qué hacer con él?
Pues sabía lo que hacer y cuándo, porque yo estaba todo el rato contando eso, todo el rato la partida, entonces cuando tiraba el cañón no sabía qué tirar porque no tenía elixir. Y justo el segundo cañón que tiré, conté y justo, si lo vieron, cayó exactamente igual el golem que el cañón en el mismo momento.
So he's saying that he was very much aware of the elixir of the rival and his card cycle as well. So he knew what is going to happen when, and even on the second cannon card, if you look into the match again, he placed it even before the golem was in the match.
Absolutely, a predictive play. Amazing.
Yeah.
And final question, how do you say Giant Slayer in Spanish?
Mata Gigantes.
¿Mata Gigantes? Suena bien. Suena bien. ¿Eso? Pues Mata Gigantes. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Christy. What a fantastic performance from the newly dubbed Giant Slayer, helping his team G2 move to 2-0. Let's take a look at the European standings.
We now have Team Queso and G2 Esports at the top here, but of course Team Liquid is still up there being 1-1. Of course, they all want to be in this top 4. The top 4, of course, competing for those playoff spots and representing the region at the World Finals.
It is also still very early, so much Clash Royale left to be played, and a lot more left today. We have a new matchup coming up. It's going to be Fnatic versus Team Dignitas.
Dignitas making their first appearance here in the Clash Royale League, going up against Fnatic. These two organizations are absolute titans in Europe, about to duke it out here. Let's go.
Well, match 1 was the appetizer. Oh, but I'm full up on fingernails. That last one was a real nail-biter. Now, on the menu, the Clash Royale League debut of the legendary Team Dignitas. Their very first CRL showdown pits them against Dion and Fnatic, still searching for their first win. Who will get the W?
Get ready for our second match of the day with Team Dignitas making their CRL debut against Fnatic looking for their first win.
Fnatic still looking to find their footing here in the Clash Royale League. Dion, Lemon Tea, Asuchini, a lot of potential here on this roster. They just need to execute when it counts. Going up against Dignitas.
Dignitas, some fantastic players, of course. IMJP doing a great job winning at RTVE Challenge, getting #1 there in his home country. And, of course, Max Lemenas right now standing by with Christy St. John.
Thanks, guys. So you have a little bit of an advantage because you've been watching all last week. What strategy did you come up with while you were watching those matches?
Yeah, this is a real advantage to be here for a lot of weeks, and we have seen the match of the other teams. So right now we have practiced a lot, and I think we are prepared. So I think it was a good advantage, but now we need to profit on scene, and we'll see how it goes.
I must say, you do look prepared. What is the choice with the hair? You and IMJP look pretty great.
Yeah, I don't know. We love it. We are a bit crazy, so we wanted to change how like Clash Royale changed our life. So it is good, life changing. Yeah.
So it changed your life, and absolutely now you look like you're changed, which is perfect.
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, I hope to see some of that craziness on the game field. Let's back to you.
Thanks, Christy. A highly decorated team over there at Dignitas against a lot of the Combine standouts at Fnatic. But before they go head-to-head, let's take another look at our format.
It all starts off with the 2v2, the new format here in competitive Clash, going into the 1v1 in set number 2. And if we need it, we will go to our King of the Hill tiebreaker that we just saw. Of course, each of these sets has their own unique sets of bans, which will be relevant for that specific match. We then, of course, it'll update every single time. The ban's such a key part of this match here.
Very important. Also important are the matchups, the wealth of experience of Dignitas up against the youthful exuberance of Fnatic. And that pick is so important. Let's see what the teams are thinking inside the war room.
Juanka, Max, 2v2. We know what we're running. We know what they're going to play. Communication is key, boys. Remember that. JP, same for you. 1v1. We know the bans. Time to show the world what you've got. We've had our Mountain Dew. We're feeling refreshed, energized, good to go. So on 3, boys. 1, 2, 3. Dig win!
Both bans are a tornado, so it's a double tornado ban. Do you have any thoughts, Dion, about this double ban?
Well, I think with double tornado ban, the Goblin Rider is such a strong card because you cannot NATO it to the King Tower, what normally happens a lot. And with the King Tower activation, it's not good because the King Towers are so strong. So the Goblin Rider is definitely a card you want to play when NATO is banned.
Yeah, and this card is so fast, they won't be able to stop it anyway.
No, it's our best kill condition at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's our best win condition and we should go with it.
And I know Max Lamanas, and he won't expect that, I think.
The history of Europe is written with epic battles. Now, it seems we have another one in store. Dignitas and Fnatic, it's the time for the 2v2!
The players making their way to the podiums to begin set number 1 of this match between Dignitas and Fnatic.
Dignitas taken to the stage, Max Lamanas and Wonka representing for them in the 2v2, going up against Asuchini and Lemon Tea. This is going to be a fun matchup. Can Fnatic find their footing here? Can they find redemption?
They are up against a very difficult team, but here are card bands double tornado off the board. A lot of synergy off the board, a lot of openings made up for certain cards as well.
Only clear skies here. No tornadoes this time around as both teams are going to be taking that off the board. But this still, again, has a lot of openings here. We're going to see a lot of potential spell cycle coming in as well. And, I mean, we have seen Lava Loon be played to great effect, of course, as well in some of our past games. Maybe that'll make an appearance.
Pretty much anything is possible now with just one card removed from the game. Will it be Fnatic taking the victory here in the opening set, or will the two Superliga standouts in Max Lamanas and Wonka take the victory?
We're about to find out here in game number 1 who is going to come out on top and set the tone, set the pace, because momentum is oh so important in these matches. Maintaining that momentum is crucial. And speaking of momentum, getting first blood here, going to be a couple of goblins.
The barrel getting on the left-hand tower, doing some nice damage to open up. Again, to remind you, Fnatic at the top of your screen, Dignitas at the bottom.
As we do see now, we're already seeing the fireball coming out here, cycling, getting good value, taking down that flying machine, getting that damage onto the tower. So going to be seeing a very fast, aggressive deck coming out from Dignitas.
Out to a hot start is the Frenchman and the Spaniard representing Team Dignitas, hitting the left-hand tower down to 1969.
And a lot of aggression coming in here on the left as well between the miner and the barrel. So good chip to start this off already. The Princess in the middle. Princess, a card we see sparingly here in 2v2, but a card that I think has a lot of potential to get a lot of very great trades here, just able to do that additional bit of damage and keep pestering things down.
We are reaching the midway point very soon in this matchup. The flying machine, which we've seen do so much work in 2v2 so far, as both the defensive and support troop.
That log almost being the log of ultimate victory there, clearing out many a goblin. But still, the chip now coming in from Dig is connecting on the left-hand side. A little bit of pressure going back and forth, but not a huge bunch of overcommitments for either side.
Both teams playing very fast decks, some bait going on here on both sides of the board. The Princess now on the right-hand side, opposite lane, working for Dignitas.
I like this too, just creating something that at some point you have to deal with. She's just slowly going to chip you down. Cannon Cart is going to do it as the push now being mounted on the left-hand side. The Inferno Dragon, though, not going to get anything done to that minion horde.
And now one Princess locking on the other. There's just so much happening everywhere for Dignitas. So far, it's been a little troublesome for Fnatic to keep up, but they are now slowly building Elixir, looking to get, nope, we thought for a second that the Dark Goblin would make it onto the tower, does not. Still stalwart defense from the very fast deck of Max Lamanas and Wonka.
Stalwart indeed, baiting at the log there as well, but we're going to have another response. Wow, a bit of an overcommitment there from from Fnatic, I should say. The bats being committed as well as the fireball. That might be a slight misplay right now, as we are seeing many just goblin barrels raining across the sky right now for both squads here. Both just looking to chip down their foes.
Trying to keep the cannon cart in the back of the board is Dignitas. It's pushing through, gets stopped there by the fireball, not going to make its way, but to the tower is the miner. Now Lemon Tree and Asuchini getting closer on the board.
Yes, indeed. We are now seeing the double barrel coming in. The second the log is committed to one, they have to respond again with the fireball for the other. That is a great trade coming out for Dig.
We are in sudden death overtime, and it is still anyone's matchup so far. A little more fluid play from Team Dignitas, but Lemon Tree and Asuchini still in this thing. But the cannon cart gets all the way through and gets a lock. That could be it with the fireball on top. One more hit, no, backed up. That's the rocket. There it is, game number one. Dignitas making a statement and their debut.
Dignitas coming out with a fast deck. Their teamwork was absolutely beautiful, the way they're able to cycle out the logs on the defense, the Goblin gang as well, constantly keeping up that pressure here. Overall, again, the cannon carts, just MVP. They just sneak on in there. If they get a lock on that tower, it's game over.
The synergy and communication so far from Max Lamanas and Wonka paying off. Getting the first game down, they are one game away from sealing up 2v2 and taking a nice lead as we head into the 1v1 set.
Almost double the spell elixir committed for Dignitas in that matchup, just keeping that aggressive play style going. Lemon Tea and Asuchini need to just rally right now. They need to keep calm and composed, trying to play relatively similar decks, keep it fast, maybe move towards something more beatdown oriented, but maybe they'll just get outcycled and kited. It'll be interesting here. There's a few options that are coming in. We've seen a bunch of different meta decks develop.
Well, we saw some overcommitment on defense, and that might be a bit of a communication issue. So key here in 2v2. There are some language challenges between the Guatemalan and the Frenchman, so maybe that played a role. Both players very talented 1v1 players in their own right, trying to find their synchronicity here in 2v2.
Trying to find that synchronicity indeed, as Max Lamanas and Wonka looking to seal this out in 2 games. Fnatic looking to take it back and bring us to game number 3.
Remember, the Tornado is still banned. We had the double ban on Tornado.
As we do, of course. Now, having no tornado is going to be interesting here. As I was mentioning, maybe seeing Lava Loom coming out, and that is what we are seeing now for Dignitas. However, that Inferno Dragon is going to look to rip it apart, but the balloon is still there.
Excellent taking done by the Lava Hound, but a couple, that could have been a lot worse. When you got the giant snowball and the fireball down there, that tower could have been down, tons of damage, but again, still a little heads-up play in the last moment by Lemon Tea and Asuchini.
There was a sudden gust in here as the fireball and giant snowball came in, just blowing that balloon back and forth. Lava Hound now for both sides coming out, but a lot of damage initially done. We're seeing a Lava Loon for both teams.
That was a lot of elixir spent on behalf of Fnatic to still allow that damage. But again, like I said, it could be worse. And now Fnatic sneaking their own balloon through, and looks like it might do even better. We get the first drop. We will probably see a second drop as well. Could we see a third?
That is going to be the tower down. The push from Fnatic is oh so real. Still connecting here onto the King Tower. It is getting absolutely shredded, knowing that that tower was going to go down, ignoring it, letting it be. But at what cost, Rich?
It was the fireball play on behalf of Dignitas. They did not push that balloon in the right direction. In fact, maybe even gave it a little bit of help to, definitely didn't take care of business. And now they are on their back foot as we are just seconds away from double elixir time.
Yes, from double elixir time. The zap is there as well, denying the hit onto the tower. The bomb will drop, but it is not enough. A few hits from the cannon cart will help seal the deal and actually do even more damage than an entire lava loon push combined. But this is still a very weakened King Tower on the side of Dignitas, and Fnatic knows it.
A lot of elixir committed in the right-hand lane now for Dignitas, and there's a better fireball, but is it possible now? The snowball coming down, the balloon, and there's a beautiful tombstone play to distract that balloon. I wonder if it will get a hit on there. We do get a hit, and the death damage, and that's going to be a 3-crown victory on behalf of Fnatic. There we go. Beautiful play, some mistakes on the side of Dignitas, and they capitalize, and that is a beautiful win for Asuchini and Lemon Tea.
The breath of life for Fnatic. They can breathe in this match again, taking it to game number 3, all on the back of some beautiful lava loon play.
And here we go, the snowball doesn't really do its job. Instead, kind of almost gives that balloon some help, and that was the advantage, that was the lead. And that from that point on, there was no recovery. And there's a sneaky little snowball there. You just saw it in the replay. Gave the balloon just enough room to get on the tower and secure the victory. And now things are all tied up 1-1. The winner now will take set number 1, our 2v2, and put it in the books.
Dignitas looking so much more comfortable with that quick, faster deck in game number 1, but going to something a little bit slower in game number 2, not really working out for them so well. Whereas on the other hand, that's where Fnatic really looked like they shined. Really feeling a lot more comfortable there, executing that lava loon beautifully, having their defense on point, able to get those solid pushes through, and just not respecting the damage was Dignitas. That 3-crown was absolutely convincing.
The teamwork significantly improved in the second game of this set. You know, Fnatic has now, this is their 3rd matchup. They're a little more experienced here. Maybe some of those early jitters finally starting to get sloughed off. And we have Dignitas on the other side making their CRL debut. Yes, you have Wonka and Max Lamanas, both very experienced in competitive play, but you know, they're still getting their work together. They're still figuring out how they play together, and that might have been what gave the advantage to Fnatic.
Well, we'll see if they can close this out, or Fnatic will be the ones with the reverse sweep. Let's get into game number 3.
And we are on our way. In the next 3 to 6 minutes, someone will take the first set. Will it be Fnatic finally grabbing a set and going into the 1v1 with a lead, or will Dignitas put their stamp on CRL in their debut?
Looks like Dignitas is going to bring out the Lava Hound once more. We do see the same response coming in from Fnatic. Fnatic, of course, having much more success with it in game number 2. Interesting to note that Dignitas thinks they can go toe-to-toe despite having a less than stellar performance in that second game.
Well, a nice distraction for the Mega Minion on the right-hand side, played by Fnatic to take down the Inferno Dragon, or to take down the Inferno Dragon there. On the left-hand side now, it is Fnatic that takes really the first bite out of a tower.
Ooh, and that was huge, respecting the cannon cart right there, not allowing it to get that key lock onto the tower. We are now having this Valkyrie going to be cleaned up easy peasy, and a balloon dropped far in the back for Fnatic.
You got to expect something will come in front of it to do a little bit of tanking, whether it's mini tank or big tank, or maybe they'll just let this thing fly. Get ready to play defense in their own right on the right-hand side, and yeah, they're just going to let that balloon do what it does. Will it get anything on there? No, the giant snowball and the Mega Minion, but on the right-hand side, there it is. Dignitas now doing some significant damage on the right-hand tower. 2
balloons were flying across the field, and the balloon for Dignitas found its mark, connecting onto that right-hand tower. Beautiful placement on that tombstone, as well as a solid snowball Mega Minion play from Dignitas was enough to slow that down. So we're going to have a serious air battle developing once again for both of these squads. One of the key players in all of this, of course, that Inferno Dragon.
The Inferno Dragon now looking for the Lava Hound. It does, after a nice sneaky zap, find its target. But will it be enough to stop this balloon from getting on the right-hand tower? And a late fireball gets in just in time to stop the push. But the death damage taking the right-hand tower down to 675.
taking the shields off of those guards as well. So potentially a slight misplay there from Dignitas, not needing to take that additional damage. And we do have another aggressive upfront Lava Hound push coming in, passing like ships in the night, as we say, as it's locking onto that tower.
Look at how deep that Inferno Dragon is behind the Lava Hound, really taking its taking its toll. But uh-oh, here we go. Now there's a balloon sneaking through. It's going to get at least one hit, potentially two. And that right-hand tower is going down on both sides as we get closer to sudden death overtime.
The trade is here with only 20 seconds left on the clock, so now the time turns. The tide has turned, and now time to turn to that other tower on the left-hand side. The guards are there as well, but we do have the Lava Hound push coming out now from Dignitas. Once again, the tried and true, but they get the lock on the tower.
A lot of times to turns back and forth, but you know, the all-star so far this matchup has been the giant snowball, especially its use on Inferno Dragon, pushing it just out of range. Remember, its range was slightly reduced just recently, and some players are still adjusting to that minor difference.
When you play with a card for so long, then have it changed in such a key facet, it's definitely something that takes a little bit of getting used to here. And that giant snowball, having that additional utility here, just knocking it out of range, giving a little bit more room for your flying tank.
We are in sudden death overtime. The Valkyrie making some room, taking care of the ground troops so the Inferno Dragon can target on the Mega Minion, and now it is a very large push coming in. But interesting, the snowball, some retargeting, and now the balloon goes down to the Inferno Dragon, but we still have the Lava Hound on the left-hand side really doing work on that tower. It's down under 400 now with the log, down to 315. It is sudden death. That tower cannot take much more and still keep this team Dignitas in the 2v2 set.
Fnatic has the spells to cycle this down, but they also need to play defense all the while. They need to slow down and stop this balloon. They are able to do so now with the poison, with the fireball. They will be able to get this down. There's the poison, there's the fireball, and that is going to be it. Fnatic taking the set now and going in with the lead for the first time into the 1v1.
Fnatic taking their first set, the adjustments being made, although a couple little misplays there on the part of Dignitas. But again, that giant snowball, a huge part of this matchup. And you also saw very close at the end, that cannon cart in the pocket was nearly the difference, but did not quite do enough to get this victory.
Dignitas coming in. Again, it's their first time here up on the big stage. Maybe a bit of jitters being a factor here in this matchup. As you said, a few small mistakes coming out there from them and being exploited beautifully by Fnatic. Just
here in this replay, you see a beautiful moment where the giant snowball pushes the balloon out of range and then drop. And then we're dropping, of course, down the tombstone to get that different target, prevent the damage. But it wasn't enough. Dignitas goes down. And now heading into 1v1, Fnatic has the lead and the chance to take their first victory here at CRL in the EU. It's time for 1v1, and this is a big moment for Fnatic, as I just said, a real great chance to take the victory and get themselves in the win column.
The 1v1 showdown is a match of wits, a contest of will, a game of chicken? Well, kind of. Who will get a win and who will get a rip in the chat? Let's find out.
Set number 2 about to begin, 1v1. Making the way to the podium for Team Dignitas is IMJP, the RTVE Challenge #1 out of Barcelona, Spain.
Blowing everybody a kiss there to start this off, going up against the Netherlander Dion, who's going to be repping Fnatic here. Got to be feeling a lot more confident going into this matchup. He fell to Kuchiku last time around, but now he's coming into this in a position of strength. His team is up 1-0. He's got a little bit more room to work with.
You know, here on the big stage, pressure can be a factor, and it felt like it might have been for Dion, who's a fantastic player last time, but here the feeling's very different. He knows that while he wants to win, it's not all on his shoulders, and now let's look at those ban cards. Almost again, we've seen that back and forth ban. Royal Hogs off the board, Valkyrie off the board. So really no challenge between those two.
That was a net equal there, as the Valkyrie, of course, a common counter to those Royal Hogs. So maybe we'll see a lot more traditional meta decks. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. There's a lot of great decks, and hopefully we will see them being debuted here as we get into our first game.
You know, Dignitas making the Valkyrie ban here very interesting because IMJP, his ladder deck, is the trifecta, meaning that's the Hog Rider, Musketeer, Valkyrie deck. So a deck he's very comfortable with, but maybe he's choosing to go somewhere a little different than he's risen up the ladder with.
I mean, he's played a bunch of different stuff. He plays Minor, he plays Expo. There's a lot of different things that this guy can bring to the table. But over on the other side, you know, we have to talk about Dion's Graveyard. This is something that he is absolutely known for. Wouldn't be surprised to see it make an appearance at some point in this set. He's known as a methodical control player who likes aggressive GY pushes.
And Dion happy to let the Zappies do a little bit of damage, really not worried about that so far. The Bandit now coming down for IMJP.
So it looks like bridge spam coming out now for JP to start this off with the Zappies, with the Bandit and Ram. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Ewiz and the P.E.K.K.A. in there as well. And there we are, trying to get through the push. This is all about just setting up variable threats. That's really what this deck is all about. You're going to chip away at both of your opponent's towers simultaneously. Again, it's the idea of pick your poison. Where do you want to take damage?
Dion potentially showing a Lava Loon here so far, and there we go. The Lava Hound is down, so you can expect the Balloon probably following behind. Very interesting standard choice here for the Netherlander.
Interesting here, we're actually seeing aggressive P.E.K.K.A. play to respond to this. Normally the P.E.K.K.A. is held back as sort of that defensive tool, but in this case, of course, not being very useful against a Lava Hound, so opting to get that pressure in. And interesting, dropping the Flying Machine down here as well. So really committing to this push right now is IMJP.
And the P.E.K.K.A. going to get at least 1, 2, maybe even 3 swings.
That's tower.
That's tower on the right-hand side. You got to wonder if that Fireball in the back was the smartest play in that moment, and now his King Tower in significant duress.
I mean, this could almost be the 3-crown right here, right now, taking down most of that tower. The lone Zappy enough to pretty easily clean up that Lava Hound. That's not an ideal situation for Dion. IMJP knowing exactly what his deck was designed to do.
The Dignitas representative out to an early and important lead as we head into double elixir time. The right-hand tower down and the King Tower of Dion at 1572.
This is going to be the saddest little Inferno Dragon as the Lava Loon is coming out right now. The Zappies, actually, no, doing pretty well. The Zappies occupy with other targets, meaning the P.E.K.K.A. is going to get shredded here. And that is a nice Fireball as well. The Ewiz trying to slow this down, but that's going to be a connection. No!
Oh, the Balloon does get at least one connect. Yeah, just one connection, and now the death damage as well. The right-hand tower of IMJP in some trouble, but that Ewiz staying on the board so long, there has been no answer for it yet. What might he do? Could Dion move it out with a Fireball? Looks like, yeah, a Fireball, but there's a second Ewiz down.
This time around, the Balloon is going to drop to the Fireball. I was so convinced that that Balloon was gone, but no, maximum value Ewiz for IMJP, able to shut all of that down, but that is going to be it. Match over, game number 1 going to IMJP and Dignitas.
That second Balloon to the river really just trying to desperately get in there and get to the tower, but the Ewiz got back in cycle. There was no way that he was going to get there in time, and that's the victory. Even if he got that down, though, the King Tower for Dion was so far down. He made some good mid-game adjustments, but this push on the right-hand side, the early Fireball behind the push, it just left him so open, and there was no coming back from that.
Again, traditionally, you know, you save that P.E.K.K.A., you hold it back, you use it for the defensive push, then you counter with it. In this case, IMGP identifying, like, look, it's Lava Loon. I can just push on right in with this. I have the Bandit. I'm going to get damage on this no matter what I do here. Enough Elixir has been committed in the other lane. He can't defend this. And overall, really solid decision-making from INJP. Not the best overall situation there for Dion. He played it out as best as he could, almost came back with it, but in the end, IMGP just a little bit more comfortable in the matchup.
Well, he was playing a quicker, faster deck, getting cards down without having to waste any of his elixir, and he is now 1 win away from sending this thing yet again to King of the Hill.
Ooh, King of the Hill becoming a staple here in the Clash Royale League, one of our most exciting formats, and there is a good chance that we will see it here if IMJP can close this out in 2 games, this time himself running up the Lava Hound.
And we have a Mega Minion and Ice Golem making its way, just 2 smaller cards. And there we go, the Furnace. Interesting play. It can get some distraction on a few of these cards and really be frustrating in that clogging up the lane.
Clogging up the lane, indeed. We are seeing a slight connection on here to the tower with that Lava Hound. The Balloon being played in the other lane. Interesting decision here for IMJP.
You know, he might have seen he had an Elixir advantage, tried to sneak that by there, but it is the Mega Minion not letting anything more than the death damage make it to the left-hand tower.
That's absolutely crucial. That 1 connection deals so much damage to the tower if you do allow it to connect. That balloon, not 798 damage if that is able to find its mark, and that's something you definitely rather avoid.
Looks like Dion probably running a graveyard deck. We might see a cannon cart as well, very popular in the meta right now. It's a strong deck. And there we go, we do see the cannon cart. It will sneak through and get a tower lock. The guard's not in time. Oh, nope, I spoke too soon. It looked like I thought for a second that it was taking it down.
IMJP going to milliseconds to pull off that play, even having us convinced that the lock was not going to get there, but perfect timing. Literally couldn't have waited 1 millisecond longer.
Look, sometimes the camera follows the fake, and so did I. But Dion now, and there we go, the graveyard down. And you got to wonder, looking at the deck of IMJP, what are the answers here? None so far. The graveyard making short work of that tower, and now getting after the King Tower as well.
The Lava Loon push is coming in on the right-hand side, but that King Tower getting, it's having a zombie apocalypse of its own on that on the left-hand side right there. But we do see the push now coming in. The Fireball is there as well. Going to try and take down this tower. Can the lock? No! Beautiful positioning there with that Furnace able to shut down that Inferno Dragon.
No nerves this time around for Dion. He is playing beautifully here in this moment.
But there is still quite a solid push coming in from IMJP right now. That is the cannon cart in the middle, going to be chunking away at the left-hand tower as well. Will the balloon get there? Yes, it does! And that is going to be a solid play from IMJP, tying us up here going into overtime.
We are so close to sudden death overtime, but you have to take into account the fact that Dion both has a lot of value in with all the damage on the towers so far. The right-hand tower, or the King Tower, excuse me, down to almost 2,000. The left-hand down to 1,409. A significant lead, but in double elixir time, IMJP can get so much down. Oh, but here we go, Graveyard going for the 3 crown. That's Dion trying to put this thing away. A Zap trying to prevent it, but his King Tower so close to falling.
Between the Graveyard, between the cannon cart, that is 513 HP remaining, but a solid push still being mounted on the left-hand side here as well. The Balloon trying to find the Furnace to distract. Solid play from Dion. Will the Balloon make it?
The Balloon does all. I keep speaking too soon. You know, I'm trying. It looks like it's going to happen, but Dion is making some nasty plays.
That poison.
Now that poison was so beautiful. And also the Mega Minion just bumping the Balloon just off its path. Huge. Micro plays by Dion making massive effects.
Getting very close to the end right now with only 513 HP remaining. Every single time the Balloon pushes in, the Furnace is there. The death damage will start to slowly add up, though, as it chips away at this tower, but the cannon cart in the back as well as the Graveyard. This is the push now coming out from Dion. He's trying to make it happen. Will there be a response from IMJP? He's committing with the Balloon right now. He needs to be careful. This could be it. It's getting oh so low.
Down to 111, but the Balloon, oh my gosh, will it get, does still, again, the beautiful play with the Mega Minion. Not just doing damage, but pushing that Balloon out of position. And there's the poison, the 3 crown from Dion, sending us to game number 3. And this is gonna be it. Now Fnatic has a chance to sweep Dignitas.
Dion saying, I will not go quietly into that good night. I will take us to game number 3 with some truly stellar play. The defense, absolutely phenomenal, identifying when he had the elixir advantage, getting sick plays just like that, utilizing that Graveyard. It's what he is known for, getting within the lethal range of that poison, and that was it.
Dion, again, as we just noted, he's been pushed as a master Graveyard player. It didn't work out to his advantage last time, but we talked again about that pressure. And the pressure is different here in this moment, and he has stood up and shown why he made this roster. Team Fnatic really happy with their Combine standout.
This entire match comes down to just this one game. IMJP needs to take it here to bring his team into the last one here as we're getting into it. Take us to King of the Hill. Can he make it happen? Rich, this is going to, he has to go clutch. Let's put it that way.
Look, IMJP is a very talented player, the 18-year-old out of Barcelona, Spain, but up against the Netherlander Dion, who seems to be finding his stride here at CRL.
He's definitely starting to get the read of IMJP here in this matchup. Just cycling out a casual zap here. Looking to keep things going. IMJP, though, not going to take the bait, not going to reveal his hand too early.
A little slower matchup this time, just 2 cheeky cycle zaps early on. Both players content to let the other one make the first move.
I love this here, too. It's like, I see you too, don't worry about it. You know, they don't need to speak the same language to speak the same Zap.
And not a lot happening here, but again, this is what happens sometimes at the professional level. We might see these two both wait until 105. It could be a tower race, see who can get that first push to succeed. You have to wonder now, what does Dion have planned in this moment?
Dion could have a few different things up his sleeve. I mean, question for him now, does he go back to what's tried and true? He's comfortable with his graveyard. He knows how he feels about that matchup. He knows how that last played. Does he continue to play with this, or does he totally mix it up? This is mind games in mind games in mind games. Are you going to pull out something completely different here, or are you going to stick with it? This is now, we talked about the game of chicken. This is truly a game of chicken.
Who will blink first? A good luck from IMJP as we get closer to both of these players pulling out their decks. If Dion has Graveyard again and JP has a tank, this could be a very interesting moment.
This could be that interesting moment. Look for 105 and change with these players starting to get towards that double elixir time. Who will make the first move here? And it will be Dion.
And there we go, the big tank from IMJP and a Lava Hound in the opposite direction.
Both of these players bringing out a large tank. Lava Loon now for Dion the Night Witch here. The classic pairing with that Golem as well. Walking out up front, getting the bats in, but with the poison, I still don't think it's going to be enough. That is a connection on the tower. Both of these players are going to commit to this race.
A huge hit on the tower. The balloon will not finish it off, but first blood is drawn. And with just 30 seconds left before we get to sudden death overtime, Dion looking in an early lead in a good position.
That was a great tornado, though, from IMGP to bring it back and deny the second hit as well as cleaning up those pups. But once again, like a clock, it's 2 times a day. This push is coming in once more. I was going to say a broken clock is right 2 times a day, but that didn't really work in this situation because there's nothing broke about this push. It's doing work.
And we've seen now twice the balloon right behind the Lava Hound and positioned in a way that it gets to the other side of the defensive troops from IMJP, and so far that appears to be the difference.
Not having a whole lot of answers for this Lava Loon right now. Struggling a little bit in this matchup is IMJP. The cannon cart is going to be here. The push as well with the Golem. But having the answer in that Inferno Dragon once again is Dion.
The Golem at the river just trying to get past there, get in quickly and start getting damage on the right-hand tower. It does not succeed between the Inferno Dragon and the Tombstone. The Golem does nothing in this situation.
That Inferno Dragon cleaning up not only the Golem, but the baby dragon as well. Talk about a positive elixir trade. The poison is going to be there to start to slow down this push. Beautiful timing on the Nightwish death, cleaning up all of those bats as well. The balloon in the back, this might be a bit of an overcommitment to Dion, but he still feels comfortable that he can get this through.
Yeah, but the pup's doing some good job distracting so far. And there we finally get the tornado to pull the balloon away from the tower. He hasn't been able to use that on the other side of the board. Usually you'd pull the Inferno Dragon off of the Golem. And here, once again, IMJP forced to use it defensively. Now the tower within 2, oh, that's it. Dion now taking the set, and that is the sweep for Fnatic. That is what we want to see here at Clash Royale League. A team was in trouble, going down 0-2 so far in the standings, but they say no, we will not go out like that. Fnatic on the winners column, finally here in week number 2.
Fnatic coming in here, taking down Team Dignitas. These orgs are 2 of the biggest in Europe, and they're showing us here some amazing plays. That was it, getting the tower down to that crucial threshold. Dion realizing he had this in the bag. That matchup fell right into his hands.
Dion saying, "Come hither, my foe. I am ready to win." And when he did, getting the first victory for Team Fnatic, these guys with a sweep on top of that have to be feeling good. What a wonderful performance. And we are so impressed. It's wonderful to see that. And now we're going to go standing by is our good friend Christy St. John with our winner, our victor, the guy who clutched it out, Dion.
Thanks, guys. Dion, you just took it home for your team. How does it feel?
Feels amazing. It feels amazing I can do it for the team. And I'm really proud of my teammates for winning this first set. It feels really good.
Absolutely. And I have to say, that first game you lost, both in the 2v2 and the 1v1, your team lost, and then you came back with a 3 crown both times. How do you not get discouraged?
I know. Reverse sweep always feel extra good. And just give me the urge to fight harder. Needed to give my A game to still win the game.
You fought harder and you brought your A game. Congrats, man, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Chrissy, the hero, Dion there, all smiles because now Fnatic has made their way to the winners column.
Let's take a look at the overall standings for Europe. Fnatic 1-2, putting that ever-crucial first win here on the board. Still at the top of the standings is Queso and G2, but Fnatic, they gotta feel good putting that one up there for them, for their team, making their way towards that top 4.
And those top 4 will be competing in the playoffs for a chance to represent the European region at our World Finals. And you can follow all the action by hitting subscribe on the Clash Royale Esports YouTube page, or of course going to your app, going to your game, and swiping over to the Clash Royale Esports tab.
Or also esports.clashroyale.com. So many places to find all of the amazing esports action. We're here 6 days a week. We're back on Thursday for more amazing European action. Rich, if it's anything like today, we're in for a treat.
Oh yeah, we are. Make sure you come back here on Thursday and join us. For everyone here at Clash Royale League, I'm Rich Slayton. That is Paul in Verum Toghill. We will see you on Thursday.
We are witnessing greatness as never before, with the most professional of players exhibiting true artistry in the arena. Each match, the excitement grows. Each match, the best distinguish themselves from the rest. A long road lies ahead on the road to the World Finals. After all, we're just getting started. In case I forgot to ask, do please subscribe to the Clash Royale Esports channel. Remember, please, and pretty please, this is the Clash Royale League. Remember, be extra safe, and keep your Electro Wizard out of the rain, would you? They sort of short-circuit easily. Thank you.